Welcome to Literary Dialogs with Nina Serrano, bringing you wonderful poets and writers who focus on peace, justice, and a healthy planet. I'm your host, Nina Serrano. My guest today is QR Hand. Welcome, QR.
Cool. Good to be here.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you are.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to read a poem called Our Hemisphere. Afro-Carib, Latin, hillbillies, Semitic, Hamitic, semi-Dravidian natives who might have come from India and sure enough be in the Indies here. Those carrying glyphics to the new world whose old dwellers take to the hills still and teach us to worship there. Black and brown and golden and peach-pink urban populist, left-winged, anarchistic, universal, quack-versal, color-coded, God-headed, new world peoples of every shade there is, and we're making more every day. A class containing classes, the X's and Y's of manifesting humanities becoming the music of the world, containing all, excluding none. Let the Klan and the Nazis go back. We home here now.
Oh, I love that. It is so relevant. It could have been, you could have written this last night. Now, about the way that you read the poem, was that an example of what you were discussing, that you first write the poem and then you make it into a poem by the way you read it?
Well, that came to me as a poem. That wasn't forged out of the notebook, rambling and things. That's one of the things that just came to me as a poem, dictating, that's spicy, but dictating itself along the way, yeah.
Well, it's a marvelous poem. It really describes our continent, both the continents.
Right, from pole to pole and ocean to ocean.
Yes.
Through every border.
Yes.
Through every border.
Through every border. Remarkable poem.
Yeah, that's about the Americas, of which we are one part.
Yes. So what else would you like to read us?
Some people have enough problems. He sits there wringing his hands so tightly, at times they pale at the knuckle joints where fingers meet light brown hams. It says here, he beat up on his wife and kids before he was blindsided by a local economic enterprise one dark night in the streets, real bad, of the Mission District. Now, did he? He was the kind of hard-working man who might consider it perfectly all right to kick a little ass at home after all they were his. Didn't he feed them, provide them with a roof overhead, color television, new car he polished to a metallic sheen every Saturday afternoon? And hadn't he for years, drunk and sober? In broken English and the kind of Spanish I'm told only the well-educated speak like that in Peru, he rants about the negros, Cubanos, mulatas who did it to him, left him in those streets with epileptoid visions, seized, convulsing in San Francisco General Hospital emergency, coming in and out of painful fogs, losing a piece of his mind with each shudder. Now, trying to hold on to his common sense, he touches the new metal plate in his head, first with one hand, then the other. They say he just found it last week. He used to carry his own weight in sacks, loading and unloading trucks with a green card in his back pocket before the union would let him apprentice, prove he could hammer, saw, measure to an exacting millimeter, fit perfectly angled wood against wood with these great hands. Now he forgets what he meant in the middle of a sentence, ends muddled thought with a smile, with a shrug. I am told he alludes to embarrassment in Spanish, which I don't understand. He thinks he must appear nice for us. He lisps to the left in a slow, lopsided shuffle after 2 years in a wheelchair. The muscles have atrophied, the ones that still could receive, as he tries to remember accurate messages within, bring back to life his shattered central nervous system, find physical intelligence on a cane. The rest of his life, he had to sell the car a long time ago. This part is unclear to me in any language. At home, his wife thinks he should jump out of the window she gazes out of all the time. Is she dreaming of what? He thinks the cholos and their street action. Sometimes he thinks any one of them, one or two or more, could have been the ones he never saw that night, who cracked his skull, opened to fill their own pockets. He does not like how she looks at them. His papers say he curses at her, threatens because of what he thinks she is thinking. He says he gazes at her out of tears he is too slow to hide. He thinks at home they overload him with dilantin. He can never remember the right time and amount, and washes down with endless cans of Rainier ale. He thinks his kids make fun of him, miming his own clumsy gestures, fake tremors all over, taunting. He thinks they feel safe if they keep him slowly. I wonder if it is true. He says his family waits at the front door of their flat for the tribe of social workers who tend to the needs of himself and family through circulating paper that is always late. They can go down 3 flights to the mailbox faster than he and only bring what they want to him. He knows they whisper to these clerks he is drunk and paranoid and dangerous and he should live somewhere else and soon. I believe it when he says he dreams nightly. He's a little boy in the hills of Peru climbing to get a look at Lima, just the other side of a rise he can never quite reach. Brings up some of the social-economic problems there. I'm talking about the Mission District.
that still continue today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And today, the new gentrification is making for yet another problem.
Yeah, and this is before
Right.
the
Yeah.
real gentrification.
Yeah, what's happening today, where people may be required to spend $6,000 and $7,000 and $8,000 and $9,000 a month for the flats that maybe you can remember that were $85 and $100 a month.
Oh, please.
So
It's terrible.
tell me about these photographs.
Here is the Woodwind Chorus joined with John Ross joining us for this occasion at the Cafe Bar. But we were having a ball that particular evening.
And what was unique about this group, or is still unique about this group, is the way it blends both jazz and poetry together.
Yeah.
Marvelous. And what is this photograph? Oh.
Now, this is a photograph of my father, his brother and sister, and their mother. And this is in Harlem, I'd say, during the time of just after the First World War. That would be my guess.
And where have they come from? Were they native New Yorkers?
They came from Georgia, just when my daddy was maybe 2 or 3. Now my father, that's Q.I. Quentin Roosevelt Hand. He really liked Harlem. He went to Townsend Harris High, which at that time was kind of like a prep school for CCNY, high academics. So he went to CCNY. He played basketball with the Harlem Y. Went to Columbia School of Pharmacy, and he and a partner opened up a drugstore, pharmacy there in Harlem. Hand and George Ethical Pharmacy was on 7th Avenue between 119th and 120th Street.
Wow.
But it was gone. Again, the economic growth of the chains just undercut their operation. So that not long after the Second World War was over, by 1950, 51. Now, this is my brother, who was my heart. He died, and this is John Hand, his brother was a John Hand. Yeah.
Wow.
He got sick with nephritis and kidneys. And
he looks like a movie star.
Yeah. Yeah, a prince.
Were you close?
Yeah, and we were close as adults because we weren't close as kids. Well, we weren't separated, but we weren't all. Well, we were close and not close. Yeah.
So is he older or younger?
Younger. He's 3 years younger.
Wow. And what's this?
Now this is a whole is an interesting family picture around my sister's christening. So this
infant is your sister. And these look like the 40s.
Yeah, this is my sister was born in 46. so you got
And this is you and your younger brother, John?
Uh-huh. And that's my mama and sister. And that's my daddy. Now, this couple here is Cookie's godparents. This is my mama's mama, my grandmama. This is Uncle Pete and his wife. And then there's, these are my father's aunts, and then the sister Portia.
And you're in short pants.
Yeah.
What year did you say this was?
1940, late 1946.
So
maybe
boys,
early 40.
this
no,
is...
No, that was my mama, I assure you. We were the only people in the whole world wearing short pants, yeah.
Because actually, as I recall, in New York City, by 1942, certainly by 43 and 44, little boys no longer were wearing the short pants. Up until then, they wore short pants up until they hit a certain age, the early teens, I think. But certainly by then, most boys would have been in long pants
Yeah.
of that age. Even your little brother would have been in long pants.
Of course.
Well, these are marvelous. Is there another poem you would like to read?
Well, yeah, okay. Who signify what? I am saying something. I am saying something. What is the something I am saying? What is the something? The something, the something, 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 something else, something else, something else is being said, something else is being heard, something else is being experienced, something is saying what? Something is saying what? Something is saying what? Saying what who? Saying what who? What who? What who? What who is here? What who is here? What who is? What who is? What you is and what you ain't. Both at the same time. What you is and what you ain't is what you is all the time. Something else, something else, something else is being said. Something else is being said on the cutting edge of who we are when something is being said and we are of the saying, I am saying something. I am saying something. Let's have another drink. Let's have another conversation about all the shit we keep taking and what we're going to do about it when we get the right chance. What is the something I am saying? What is the something I am saying? And what is something else?
Wow. Talk to us about the names of your books and maybe let us see a picture of them.
This, I speak to the poet in man, but you can get them on the internet.
What year was that?
It was sometime in the 80s, 85,
Okay.
1985.
And when did the next book come out?
The chapbook that Zeitgeist Press did, which is How Sweet It Is, was 96 or 97, if I remember correctly. Now, this is a big collection of my work that Bill Vartnow's Historian on Press, copyright 2006. One anthology that North Atlantic Press did this is writings on basketball. We came to play that John Ross basically edited with me initiating it, and John taking over when I went back east to be with my father, who was very ill. And that's the real Q.R. Hand. I'm Q.R. Hand Jr. I'm included in this anthology, which was putting together the works of the Cafe Babar poets
In San Francisco.
in San Francisco. It's called New American Underground Poetry, Volume 1, The Barbarians of San Francisco. Now, I've had numbers of works published in Black Scholar over the years.
Were those essays or poems?
Poems, yeah. Poems. Then I began some of the first political published poetry of mine was included in Black Fire that Larry Neal and Leroy Jones, Amiri Baraka put together in the late 60s. I got some work in Alan Kaufman put together so I'm included in the Outlaw Book of American Poetry. And I also got a piece of work in An Eye for an Eye Makes the Whole World Blind, which is Alan Cohen's anti-war anthology, anti-Iraq war, the whole thing. Amongst the different activities that happen out of Burton Beckett, they do a periodic anthology of experimental writing. His son, Nick, gets it out there. Numberless are the sands on the seashore. Us folks are the peoples who look towards the sea. Vision and memory past. Perfect futures are strewn about our musics like seaweeds on the shore. Our eyes, hearts afire, dancing on, limbs aghast and bedazzled, caressing these sands, hand-clapping spirits. Our souls are numberless, like bands of the spectra. Our hues are numberless. Jump back, brothers, see our sisters prancing on the sea, their curves and spears rounding off the edges of the sands, making sheets of molten glisten. We are evocations of their sweet liquid strumming on these vibrant far reaches on our faithful shore. This ritual clamor, we are on this shore, spelling out the seasons of reason. Numberless beings grow gills, sprout wings, drunken on the bottom of pink coral reef, then leap the sea, sailing easy to a star. We are stoned reflections of, to view from there, these sands who do not know they're us. Not these sands, our foundations on these wheels of things, rolling shores, surf to watch, waves yearn to roll in, murmurs on these grits, are relentless too, in change in forms, numberless, pasteled and pale yellows, mixed by the sea, wind, sun, our constant companions on this sphere, on this beachhead here, on our minds. And communal heart molds sands into cities and ports to welcome from the sea more ancestors to play on this shore, notes of universal hide, seek. Time here is numberless. We've known not its name. We are the growth here. We are the trees. We are the creatures here. So it is said, on which cosmic bet no wages subsist. Numberless are the names of this life on these sands, on the dream washed up on this shore. Us folks are on, the peoples who look towards the sea. Looking towards the sea, our songs are the bread of the shore, our spirits our spawn. On these quick sands we name ourselves, numberless.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure to dive so deep into your poetry.
All right, all right. No, I'm glad they get a chance to run them.
Thanks for watching. To read more of my work, poems, novels, and translations, go to ninaserrano.com and subscribe to my blog so we can keep in touch and you'll hear about upcoming shows.